How's it going, Critter Family? I hope you all are doing well. Today we're going to be going over a new video by Beckman, one of the latest ones that he put up. But first, he was so kind and humble to leave me this here nice little message yesterday, or maybe 2 days ago, I guess yesterday, on my video about how he can't train stay without force and what I would do differently. So if you want to pause, feel free to pause, read this here little message. I don't care. I'm not going to respond to it. At least not directly to him. But let's get started. How to stop a dog's dangerous prey drive. 2-step process for a better citizen around other dogs. So we have what looks like Prince and Prince 2.0. A different Doberman, obviously.
It's going to be about how to quell a dangerous prey drive. Yesterday, we opened this gate. Prince flies down this area. This dog chased. This dog nipped Prince. Prince whooped him. Best thing for this young dog. But we got to stop this prey drive right now while he's still young, or it's going to get worse, more dangerous when he's bigger.
I don't think that's necessarily fair. The way he describes it, we don't know if that's actually what happened, if this dog is just going after him and nipping him. I don't think Prince needs to whoop him. I think Prince can give him a correction, but the way Prince gives a correction is brutal and dangerous, in my opinion. But, bully creates another bully, who might create another bully.
Stronger. So
because dogs learn from other dogs. So if this dog learns to give a correction and whoop another dog's ass the way Prince taught him, that's how it becomes dangerous.
Quelling prey drive. This is not an easy process. I'm going to first show you them running down here. It might get crazy.
So
then I'm going to talk
setting them up for failure.
to you about the process.
They're playing. Looks pretty mutual. You know what could help is if you didn't allow them to run down there. I'm surprised that he actually lets them run the way they do, because he wants to set them up for failure, particularly this dog. So if he were not to allow them to run out the gate, but have them stay and then release one and then the other, they would still run, but at least you have a little bit more control in the beginning of that, and then they may be less excitable bolting out the gate, fresh out the gate, but they're still gonna play. So this dog's kind of nipping on him.
Both their hairs
Hackles
are
go
up. Look
So
at Duke get all worked up. Now they're calm.
Excited.
You can see where a
There was a
fight.
cut there. But yes, this dog was getting excited. He wasn't necessarily humping out of dominance. He could have just been overstimulated. But yes,
Could possibly happen, right? It's kind of obvious. Prince was worked up. He was worked up. It's a problem. Now let's go repeat it, and I'm going to show you the process to fix.
This dog looks like they have a healthier, I wasn't going to say anything, but they look like they have a healthier body. Maybe they haven't filled out yet. I don't know, but I'm just saying, I'm not trying to body shame anybody, but I'm just saying this looks like a healthier stock of Doberman than perhaps Prince's. But that's not Prince's fault. He's still a beautiful dog. He's still a sweet dog. I just try to think about health wise for the animal.
Fixing this. We can't fix it when it's happening. When that bite to the back, when that chase and he's getting close to the dog, you can't really fix it at that point.
You can, but if you have a good recall of your dog, or you give them a positive interrupter, like, hey, wah, whatever. If I have a dog that gets into a fight, I've learned just wah, wah, kind of make a noise like that. But you can prevent that from happening. If you see your dog starting to be nippy and bitey with another dog, you can call them back. And if you have a really good recall, that's the best way to prevent a fight.
You have to fix it up here. Then you got a shot at fixing it. We got to work on 2 levels. We got to quell the chase. Then we have to stop, have criteria for what's going to get corrected. It is most likely what I'm going to do is I'm going to correct the moment he goes like this and he starts to do a nip at the back. But I have to lessen the craziness, the physical and mental thing that's going on with the 6-month-old dog. I have to lessen it so that we have a shot at stopping it later. We have to tamp him down, or we got no shot at it because they're both out of their mind.
I don't necessarily agree that you have to, like what I said earlier, that yes, if you have them in a little bit more control over here, that doesn't mean it's going to stop, because they're still going to come out here. They're still going to run. They're going to play, and things are different over here than over there. That's why I think if you have a good recall, or you teach your dog to work around other dogs that don't just whoop their ass when whenever they want to, or whenever they feel like it's appropriate, unless it actually is appropriate. And, humans deem that, but dogs may feel that another way is appropriate. But it depends on everybody's priorities. So I would work with the dog. Hi, I see you. Sorry, Miss Ellie wanted some loving. But I think everybody's priorities are different. So I don't think necessarily tamping it down over here is going to do diddly squat versus over here. You could try, but again, I think having a good recall, a good positive interrupter, and having your dog learn to work around other dogs that are balanced and don't take things too seriously and don't overcorrect, I think that's important. And when raising another dog, especially a very powerful dog that may have a prey drive.
If your dog has a prey drive, if your dog is aggressive, if your dog is reactive to dogs or people, I have the Beckman Aggression Program.
All right, I don't agree with that. I don't think you should listen to that, but...
Long leash. So we're going to go leash, stop the initial fly out of here. We got to stop that.
So you don't have to use that by doing the way he's going to do. I'll show you what he's going to do, and then I'll show you what I've done to teach a dog not to bolt out the door.
Then we're going to go to long leash. Then once that's tamped down, I'm going to go to mark and punish. So the minute he starts to turn, I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to clap, which is the marker. Then I'm going to go get him.
No, that's all you need is the marker. That's all you need is the positive interrupter. Or in that sense, that would be the negative interrupter. But I mean,
it's going to take a while to do this because he's out of his mind. I'm going to have to do the mark and punish many, many times.
That means that you're a failure of a trainer, dude. And you talk about me? You talk about why in God's name I have my dog on a leash in his fenced-in yard when teaching stay? You didn't even watch the video. I talked about the mistakes I made. I talked about my dog being shy and my dog being... oh, what a cutie pie. Sorry, I get distracted by dogs easily. But I talked about my Shiba being uncomfortable in those situations. He gave lip licks. I talked about that. If you would watch the video, you would know.
Then eventually I'm going to go, hey, and he's going to go, oh, I know what that means. I mean, I could put an actual cue to it if I want. I'll leave it or something. I just want to go, hey, and have him stop.
I would rather have him learn hey or leave it. I would rather have him leave it when I say leave it. I'd rather have him have a stronger recall. So when he starts doing that, I call him back. He comes back to me because he knows it's more positive and a stronger bond coming back to me than play.
Ready? I got to get this leash right because I don't want, if he gets corrected, I don't want it to be on this side. I'm on this side of him, so it needs to be here. I'm going to give him leash because I need him to be thinking.
He wants leverage, so he gets more of a more powerful correction on this poor 6-month-old puppy.
Him to be chasing and then get corrected upon the chase. I'm not going to give a cue. It's going to happen too fast.
Ouch.
Beautiful.
That's not beautiful. You're an idiot.
Might not have got it. Prince, come. Let's see if he's any better.
How long did it take for your dog to come back to you if there was a cut? He didn't come back immediately. How many times did you have to say, Prince, come? And how aggressive did you have to get? Prince, come. Now. How many times did you have to say that? And you're talking about my dog isn't reliable off leash? I admit that. My priority was not to get my dog reliable off leash. My priority was not any of this. My priority was to have my dog and I have a good bond with each other.
Better. We're eventually going to fade the leash out, but we need to use the leash early on. This is not an easy behavior.
It is absolutely easy. Let's watch him do this
Prince,
one more
ready
time.
To go. Oh! Now we have hesitation.
Smarter than this idiot.
In him. Come on, Prince. Now it's time to go to the long leash. Okay, now let's...
Again, Prince didn't make it all the way up there. He cut. Now he could be cutting for time, but now he's using even more leverage on the long line, which is
not
like a
go to
20-foot
15
leash.
feet. One, I don't want him to hit it hard. Okay, let's go.
He has a bunch of knots in his leash. That tells me that he doesn't take care of his leash. For me, if I have a knot in my leash, I take care of it. I take it out because I want to have smooth movement in my leash. I don't want to have a bunch of knots in my leash that get caught up or it gets tangled or any of that. You know, I like to take care of my equipment so that way I can use it as softly and smoothly as possible. A lot of people put knots in their leash because it gives them grip. If you have to have grip in your leash for your dog, you're doing it wrong.
Go to 10 feet. Long leashes suck.
Long leashes are awesome. I love a long line. Long lines, if you know how to work with them, I love working with long line. My dog, my Shiba, was never reliable off leash because I didn't take the time to teach him to be reliable off leash. So I used a long line, 20-foot long line everywhere we went. I had 20-foot, a 30-foot, a 50-foot, which I didn't really use very often because it was like thin nylon, and I mean the 20 and 30-foot were fine. They are amazing for dogs who are not good off leash, or if you don't have the time or haven't taken the time to teach them to be reliable off leash.
They're a necessary evil, but they suck.
No, they're amazing, in my opinion, if you know how to use them.
Get caught up in the dog. It's a whole thing. Okay. Okay. Oh. We'll take this all day. And there's the
Ouch.
chase. Beautiful.
That's not beautiful, dummy.
Beautiful. I
No,
love
it's not.
it.
It's abusive. It's unnecessary. It's aggressive. Okay, so here we are. I'm talking about touching the door and setting my dog up for success, not failure. I'm not going to set my dog up for failure because I know that as soon as I open this door, the dog can, try to go out. They're going to try and get outside because they're used to that. So what we do to start with is I will just touch the handle. Literally just touch the handle depending on how excitable the dog is or how conditioned they are to being near the door and getting excited about, they know that when you touch the handle we're going out. I may do it just as soft as this. I might do this and then I'm going to click and reward my dog. I've had plenty of dogs get super excited when I just touch the handle like that. Adonis is just chilling in the back here and he doesn't really run out anyway. But just for example, if I'm touching this, I can click, reward the dog. Touching, click, reward the dog. Now the point of this is I'm going to desensitize the dog to me making the precursor of me touching the door to them going outside. So if they see me touching the door, I'm just doing that. Adonis could care less if I'm touching this. If I do this, he gets a little excited, so I'm going to do it again. And he goes back to licking his foot. Good boy. Now this is pressure and this is release. You can think of pressure as in it's like stimulation, like I'm just going to say here.
Stimulation for your dog. You're getting your dog excitable. You're doing something that might make them become more alert. And this right now, what I'm doing, leaving the door alone, is release. So if I have a dog that is excitable, say they're sitting there, and to begin with, I don't care what my dog is doing. They don't have to be in a sit stay, a down stay. They don't have to do anything other than... So it doesn't actually show anything about, it doesn't show Adonis in it, but this is the whole process. So if you want to see this video, teach dog not to bolt out the door. This is on my channel. I'll have it up in the little bobbers up here somewhere. Hi, baby girl. You want to come back out? See how I just rolled with it? Basically, I was like, he's doing good, he's doing good, he's doing good. Then he got right here, it opened. But you didn't reward him for any of that. You didn't reward him for the times that he was doing well. You just corrected him for being a dog and wanting to go play with the other dog. That wasn't necessarily a prey drive thing. Up. This is basically like... Yeah, there he's staring a little bit more. That might be a moment that I would walk away and call the dog to me. Again, a recall is a better behavior, I feel, to teach than whatever this nonsense is that he's teaching you. Doro method for my loose leash walking as well. Then it opened up and he got stimulated right there. Then he got corrected right there. We're correcting at different physical... Oh, sorry, buddy. This is why long leashes suck. So he was going to correct him for not coming, but he realized he got caught up around the dog's body. Okay, where are we at? Leash completely long. Him being perfect on the leash for much of the time. He's gotten better on every single one. Then that last one, he sort of exploded at the maybe 10 feet in there, and then he got corrected. And he didn't need to get corrected. It wasn't his
He didn't do anything wrong. He was being a dog. He wanted to play. He shouldn't have been corrected.
And we'll see. And then we got to fade off the leash. Ready? You ready, Prince? We need
So he's amping them up. He doesn't need Prince to do squat. He doesn't need to set this dog up for failure.
Prince to run. That's the stimulus. Now, why am I running? I'm sort of simulating. Oh! Now
So
let's
this
get
dog
to...
will never, in this dog's mind, they're never allowed to play with another dog. That's what I get from it. That's what you're going to be teaching this dog, is that I mean, unless you say, okay, like, he's not necessarily chasing him like he's prey. Dogs run and they play with each other. He's not necessarily, the only thing I would do is practice this as a recall. I would have a long line on, and I would make sure it's on a harness, not on the collar. And I would practice a good recall from play. But I would have a good demo dog where I can control that dog to where we can set them up to play. Then I have everybody stop and pause, wait for this dog to calm down, call them back. If they don't come back, I have the long line that I can reel them back in.
We'll take that. That's not prey drive. Oh my goodness. Ready? Ready?
So again, they're playing.
That's not prey drive. You let
Okay.
everything else go.
So he is allowing the dogs to play. I'll give him that.
We're working on very specific digging. Okay, now I think we're ready to take the leash off. What do you guys think? Come on.
Dragging him.
That's not prey drive.
He still got corrected for it, though. He ran to the end of the leash and got corrected. So you may say that you're not correcting him, but the dog decides what is correction and what is not.
Now the intermediate step could be to drop the leash. I hate dropping long leashes. It's dangerous. Can't have this thing
I mean, I agree
getting
too.
caught on something.
You know, you could have a tagline or a shorter leash, or on a
Super
harness.
dangerous.
It's less dangerous.
I could do the fake leash takeoff, what I call the fake leash takeoff method. I think that I can just take it off, though. We want to do as few steps as we possibly can. I don't want to
Because why? Because it's easier for you? I don't mind taking a million steps if it benefits the dog. None of this benefits the dog.
force him every step of the way, because that is a stimulus that I'm gonna have to fade out later. And the treats, I'm gonna have to fade. If I use them, I gotta fade them out.
The play is also a reinforcer. And who cares about if you have to fade out the treats? If it benefits the dog, it's better.
Just like if I use the leash, I gotta fade it out. If I treat him, oh, Joel, why don't you reinforce him for walking nice down here?
Exactly.
I gotta fade that out. If I can
Well, it's not a problem, genius, if you know what you're doing. You can fade it out very quickly and make the play the reinforcer.
do this thing without treats, then every step of the way, that would be great. However, I will jackpot him for going down calmly, for
But
being
you
calm
haven't
at
done
certain
so at all this entire time. All you've done is correct him.
moments. I will jackpot him, because if I'm jackpotting rather than treat, it's easier to fade out one giant jackpot than it is.
If it's easier for you, it's not as beneficial for the dog. If it takes more time, it's usually better for the animal. And if you take the time it takes less time. He likes shortcuts.
To fade out every step. I don't want to walk down here treating him all the time.
Well, you wouldn't have done it anyway. You'd rather fake him out and then clothesline him at the end of 20 feet and correct him that way and possibly cause damage, break his neck, break his back, cause damage that way, than treat him every few seconds. Or giving him a piece of his kibble every few seconds. Okay. But yet you're the one trying to give me advice?
Let's see. So
So that's play. Kind of getting into...
now, hey!
Okay, so he interrupted. Stop the behavior. The behavior has been stopped. We'll see how many seconds it takes for him to get up to him. How many seconds it takes to catch him.
Okay. We
Okay.
still have the chase. Let's do it again. Come on. Let's go. As you have to do in training. I'm glad that I got that mark and punish in there. However, I am moving very quickly.
Okay, I'm glad
Possibly
he's
too
saying that.
quickly.
You're always
I'm going to
moving
go
very
back
quickly.
to long leash. I'm going to run with him. I've been walking and jogging. I'm going to run. I'm going to let him be free, but I'm going to have the leash as a recourse.
I think what he did there was fine. He had a positive interrupter or a loud noise that he made. He stopped the behavior. The dog stopped. Okay, reward, go back to play. I'm even okay with that. I would rather have the dog have a much better recall because then it's a better bond. It's a stronger bond. It's more of a positive association between the dog and the human, and the dog can leave play at any point if you work your way up to that.
I think he is going to do that one chase at some point. I'm going to go back to kindergarten, we'll put the leash on. I'm obviously moving very quickly. This should go, for most people, this will be over weeks and possibly months. I'm trying to do this.
Yeah, right. Like he's trying to tell you that this is going to take, okay. So whenever I do something that might take months or weeks, they get on my ass. Or whenever anybody who uses positive reinforcement talks about it might take a couple of weeks, they shit on us and say, you know, oh, this shouldn't take weeks or months or years. Are you serious? This takes you months. But it's okay for them. Uh-huh.
Super quick. I'm glad we did it the way we did it. I'm moving quick. If you can fix it quick,
yeah,
great.
If it takes you weeks and months, I'm fine with that. I don't care. I would rather it take longer, take the time it takes, because it would benefit the dog, not just the human.
If you can't, you got to go back to kindergarten a little bit.
Agreed.
Okay.
So the dog knows he's on a leash. You could reward this whole time.
Okay. Last time with no leash. Come on, guys. Okay.
Because he can't keep up with
Okay,
that.
Prince.
Good dog.
Now,
reward
it's
him
still
for
going to
that.
happen to a degree. But what
Now,
degree
Prince
does
set
it
that
happen?
one up.
Ah!
Again, they're still playing. How long, there was a cut there. How long has he been chasing this dog around the yard? Because if it's anything more, you have a second to correct and a second to reward. If it's anything more than that, then the dog does not at all know why you're chasing them. Forces a sit. You never push a butt down like that because it's bad on the hips. Grabs his muzzle.
Life.
He is just being abusive here for no reason. In the dog's mind, he doesn't know why he's being corrected. It has to be in that moment. Otherwise, you lost it. That's why this technique doesn't work. That's why it might take you months to chase your dog down and correct him after the fact. It's going to take you months, and your dog will still never stop with their prey drive unless you're abusive enough in that moment. Or you can teach your dog how I would teach them to have a good recall during play, is you have a dog that you can control. You already have a dog that's controllable. So you have them get happy slappy. Your dog plays with them. You tell that other dog, okay, turn it off. We're standing still. We're staying. We're being calm. Then your dog, if they want to continue playing, they may continue playing, but you're going to walk over there. You're going to pick up their leash or you know, create a draw like I teach in recall. You get a little bit closer if you have to, like a magnet, like you're fishing. And then you back away and you call your dog to you. When your dog comes to you, then you can reward. Then they can go back to playing, and so on and so forth. If your dog is trying to run away from you and whatnot, then you need to work more inside the house or inside the yard. You need to work more on basic recall. Your dog, you don't start recall when you're playing with other dogs. You practice your recall while playing with other dogs, but you start your recall inside. So I would practice that. And then you practice your recall while the other dog is playing. And you have a good off switch and a good on switch. Any dog has a good on switch. They can play anytime. If you have a good off switch, that's the important thing. If you stop the one that's playing, or the main player, the fun one, so if Prince were to stop and stay or go into a sit or a downstay or whatnot, and then this dog would stop playing, perfect, then you can work on recalling him. Or if this dog is still trying to play with Prince and antagonize him, then I would go over and I would say, okay, we need to do more work on our recall, on our own obedience before I start trying to call you from play.
It's not a big party. You don't get to do certain things. I will follow you. I will get you. There are consequences.
Well, you're way too late on your correction.
It doesn't matter how long it takes me.
No, it does absolutely matter. Otherwise, then that's just abusive. You don't go 30 seconds afterward chasing the dog for 30 seconds. That is totally unnecessary, and the dog doesn't understand why you're chasing them.
That's how this thing works.
Well,
At
that's a
6
really,
months old,
really bad method.
we have to start this process, but we're not ending this process. Okay? That was a good step. We tamped him down.
I'm more okay with I mean, not really. I mean, you have more of a chance to reward the dog. I'm even okay with him using a positive interrupter. Hey, knock it off. You know, hey. But I would rather use that as a last resort, and I would personally teach the dog to have a better recall. That's just what I would do. I mean, I've been saying it all video long, so looks like he's just going to be talking some more. I've gone long enough on this video. Let me know what you think of this video. Go say how to do to your critters. Say how to do for me. Give them some kind of love and they appreciate. Thanks for watching as always. And until next time, practice peace, patience, and positivity.